Amazonian. Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is Ammon, you tonight, and I have the fulfillment for you. I have the fulfillment. Oh, God. You're going to love this. By the way, thank you, Teddy Bass, for that opening. He touched me. Very famous hymn. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you, Teddy. Tonight, I'm going to bring you something right off the bat. I couldn't start our day tonight and just let things progress and surprise you later. I wanted to give it to you right up front. Satanic congregation, this is a gift from me to you. Now, don't ask me where. Here it comes. Chewy, give me the first. We're going to start right away. Here. Ready? Here it comes. I'm so excited when it comes to the table. You know what I mean? You put a lot of time and effort into it. What is this? The Greek reporter? What? New find may confirm that Amazons, ancient female warriors, existed. I didn't know there was a question. In antiquity, there wasn't. These people, historically, were mythologized only when the monists gained power. These are real people, and they've been finding these people dead. And if you recall, I told you they would. Are you ready? This is gorgeous. I love this stuff. Give me the next one. Chewy, ready, everybody? Let's celebrate. Watch this. Watch this, blow it up. Oh, God, new find may confirm that Amazons, ancient female warriors, existed. Look at how excited they are. Look at that frieze. Look at that. That's gorgeous, brah. Look at the art. The Amazonians are all over the place. They're all over the place in antiquity. Oh, God, we're fighting and we got cemeteries. These people. We're going to find out who these Amazonians are. We're going to find out. Give me the next one. What do they say in their article? By the way, people, this is fresh off the press. This is fresh off, maybe a month old. What did they find? Excavations of, surprise, Bronze Age burial sites have uncovered battle-scarred female archers. Now, if that does not turn you on, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Battle-scarred female archers. You mean they're just female? Yes, they're just female. Tell me about them. Come on, I need a bear. Leading some archaeologists to posit that Amazons, the famed female warriors of Greek legend who are largely believed to be mythical. Only you do. They didn't. What are you talking about? We have specific examples of these people. Are you crazy? The fairy tale of monism has so warped your brains that you cannot see the history. But tonight, we're not putting up with that. Tonight, no. It's coming off. It's stripping off. Just like we stripped off greed. just like we saw it for what it was, just like we held down the tyrant. Tonight, we're going to look at these dead women. Oh, God, give me the next one. Give me the next one. In Greek mythology, the Amazons were warrior women living northeast of ancient Greece during the late Bronze Age, between approximately 1900 and 1200 BC. The source of the Amazonian myths is classical Greek literature. Guess what? There ain't any other. There is nothing, people. Mother Greek by this time had so stifled the development of surrounding cultures and their language that she was taken over. Let's look at some. Give me the next one. As one of his 12 laborers, Hercules, right, has to get hold of a magic girdle. A magic girdle. What does that girdle do? First of all, what's a girdle? Yeah, that's the part that covers the beauty. Okay? And that thing is magical. It's magical. What do they mean? What do they mean when they say magical? Drugs, 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 drugs. Drugs are Bronze Age magic. I'm going to show you tonight the real Bronze Age magic, so the people who have found the dead can know what they were up to. It's fantastic. Give me the next one. We'll get into story time, and you can bombard with images. But let's get this. So he had to get that magic girdle of an Amazonian queen, right? Hippolyte. And what? He had to get what? He had to get her girdle. What is a queen? A leader of these Bronze Age dwellers on horses who were women, and their arts of the bow shape their very bones in the grave. Yeah. I told you guys this was here. I told you. And what happens? They found it. Fantastic. What are they going to find next? Hang on. Achilles killed another one, right? Another queen, a leader of one of their groups, right? That was Penthesilea, right? Only to fall madly in love with her, jerk, as he, took off her helmet and she's dying, right? What a jerk. What a jerk. Get going. What's the next one? Okay, now here's the hardcore stuff, people. Just so you know, I'm not making this stuff up. Despite being shrouded by mystery and myth, archaeologists are beginning to find more and more evidence of the existence of these fierce female warriors. Yeah, the latest piece coming from excavations of graves in a Bronze Age necropolis in somewhere I'm not going to pronounce, in Azerbaijan. Right? To all our Azerbaijanis tonight. Right? Because Ammon is global, people. To all of our Azerbaijanis, if we can penetrate that distance, thank you. Thank you for your work. We ate Gangsta P2. All right, here we go. The latest piece coming from these excavations. This revealed, tell us please, what it revealed. What are you digging from Azerbaijani dirt? Women had been buried with weapons such as razor-sharp arrowheads. We know they were razor-sharp. You know why? Because they didn't have to hit you straight on. They would nick you. And that was enough to deliver the poison. Oh, God. These huntresses. I love it. I love it, baby. The women had been buried with weapons, right? Razor-sharp arrowheads, a bronze dagger. That's handy. You know what I mean? And a mace. You can bonk people. Right? As well as jewelry. Dude, you got to look good. You've got to look good. Right? Right, exactly. Following the discovery, archaeologists have concluded there may have been Amazon women who lived 4,000 years ago, right? And these ferocious women, you say, whoo, what a description. Ferocious. Yes, they called them, get this, man killers. Yeah. Man killers. Yeah. Amazon women that lived 4,000 years ago. And these ferocious women were known by their male-free society and aptitude on the battlefield, especially with a bow and an arrow. Yes. And what are they doing? They're fighting from horseback using the poison arrows, and you cannot escape them. You cannot escape them. They hunt. When they go out and kill men, they hunt. Isn't that awesome? Their queen, one of their queens, established a temple in Ephesus, and it had an image of the Artemis, the savior, and all of her breasts. And I know you're going to say, we don't know. We don't know what those are. Those are probably not breasts. And you do that, you morons do that while you flap your little Nephilim. Nephilim, Nephilim, Nephilim. Oh, Anunnaki. How is it? Why is it? Because that stuff makes for good merchandise. The reality can't be sold. These were women who kicked butt. Kicked butt. You know how they mated? We have accounts of how they mated. They would have hunting parties that would chase down the men, and they would select them. If you were ugly, you had a safe place to hide. You know what I mean? You hid behind your ugliness. But you capture them, and you can kill them after you harvest. After you harvest their seed, because that's all you need is to harvest their seed, right? And then you kill them or you let them go. And the babies, the ones that are male, we have accounts. Now, some people are like, okay, adopt, right? And they'll leave their male babies. You got Greek attendants to the temple of Eilethwea. And what do they do? Remember, she's that old goddess of childbirth, that Artemis. Yeah, surprised? I'm not. You leave your baby, and they adopt it, and that baby, he becomes a servant. Yeah, he becomes a servant. They raise him. Yeah, fantastic. If you don't do that, you eat them, right? You eat the males. Well, they even had a word for these tribes. They're man-eaters. They're man-eaters. Now, let me remind you, this is not developing on the male side. This is not developing, right? You don't have a counter phenomenon. This isn't just a simple battle between male and female, right? This is something bigger that's generating these women. In that dig, they found that the pelvis had been adjusted. It had been warped for the sake of riding on those horses, right? And their fingers, look at this. Some of the skeletons show women had used bows and arrows extensively. Hughes observed that their fingers are warped because they're using arrows so much. Yeah, changes on the finger joints wouldn't just happen from hunting. That is some sustained big practice. What's very exciting is that a lot of bone evidence is also showing clear evidence of sustained time in the saddle. Women's pelvises are basically opened up because they're riding horses. Their bones are just shaped by their lifestyle. Isn't that gorgeous? What do we have there? Look at the melding. You know why you don't get that with a man? You know why you don't get that melding with the horse on the male side? I'm going to say this, and every horsewoman is going to understand it before I say it. You got testicles. You got testicles, Joe, and that's why we got no male equivalent. You got testicles. Boom, 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 up and down on the back of the horse. Boom, boom, boom. Part of that is the rhythm. And you don't want your testicles slammed. You don't, Joe. So you don't develop. And as a result, what do we have? We have horse women who only need men for breeding. Wow. And guess what? Their tech is the high tech of the day. Not only have they changed their bodies, what's some of the other way that they've changed their body? People will say, oh no, I'm a modern hoo-ha. And I don't think the Greeks were right when they said that they did this. Look, we have Greek accounts of what they did and why they were called Amazons, right? Because they had one breast cauterized as infants. They had one breast cauterized before it could produce, right? Before it could develop. And why do they do that? Archery, bro. Archery. They do it for the archery. Yeah, fantastic. And I don't care what anybody says, the etymology. Oh, no, it's this or that. Hesychius has got some hoo-ha. Hesychius, shame on you. Right? In this case, I'm gonna bring the heat to Hesychius. Give me the next one. What are some of the names of the Amazonian women who are laying there in the dirt in Azerbaijan, which is our new favorite place? Oistrophy. Now, for all of you who've been taking Greek, and by the way, I want to say right up front here, our laboratories are going fantastic. The language labs, and we've got like 40 people from the last weekend session, Saturday session, and in the on the this side of the ocean, and on the other side with the people in Australia, we've got 15 to 20, something like that, and they're doing exercises. They're going over the work that needs to be done to get people firmed up, and this is successful. This is so far bigger than any program anywhere in the United States. Anywhere. Yeah, definitely. We have the most students. So I want you to take this opportunity and realize that you don't have to watch commercials for it. You don't have to buy merch for it. You don't have to pay to get your comment up there. This is not, the devil can't work that way, right? He hates prostitution. Can you believe that? All of that history of the devil, you find out he hates prostitution. It's like ingrained in him. What are you going to do for money? He kind of loves it though, because he can throw out some coin. He can throw out some gold like a golden toilet. He can throw out a golden toilet and somebody will crave it. It's perfect punishment. Give me the next one. That's her name, Oistrophy. And where do we get this? Look at the root, people. You got the ostrich right in the woman's name. You know what this is? This is the maniac woman on the drugs. Oh my God. What's her cousin's name? Give me the next one. Toxoanasa. Oh, what is that? Ooh, you know what her name means? It means queen of the drugs, queen of those toxins. Now, if you had a date with Toxoanasa, and look at the, you can see inside of it is the old Mycenaean linear B stuff, right? Wanasa, right? Queen, top ranker. There are no kings in their societies, right? So this is the top. This is the top right here. Okay. And if you're dating her, right, how's your date going to end up? Okay, you better make a good impression, dummy. You know what I mean? You better make a good impression and hope she lets you live. Right? Okay. When you wake up, don't just remember one thing. When you wake up, just know that it will eventually be over. Let's go. Where are these? Where are they? Okay, look, what am I going to do? I'm going to bring up Homer. I'm going to bring up Homer and I'm going to take you to the 10th book of the Odyssey. And what are we doing? I'm just going to briefly, it's not going to take long. I'm going to briefly show you this woman writ large. You mean they had Amazonians and excuse me, I think I hit some of the panel over there. If we've tumbled out of, hyperspace or something, let me know. they had we want to see that woman portrayed, and they had Amazonians, right? A tribe of Amazonians, right? Because you're talking about very diverse groups of archers, right? Archeresses, right? The very word for archer is a female word. So, a feminine word, I should say. It's used exclusively for women. Yeah, take that. Take that. All of you testicular non-horse riders. Yeah, you can say you're a cowboy, but you're not nearly as good as your 14-year-old daughter. She can ride those barrels faster than you ever could, you testicle dragon. Okay, what is that? Your male dominance. Okay, there you go. We got some shouts. And by the way, as we look at this Amazonian woman, I'm not going to tell you her name until we absolutely have to get it. But here's the circumstances that we're under. Odysseus and his crew, it's all men. Odysseus and his male crew have come ashore, and they're on this island, and they're tired, and they're crying all the time. These dudes are crying all the time. And Odysseus is like, hey, go yonder and, scout out for what's on the island, right? So a group of them go out, and only one of them comes back. And this guy is crying. He is crying, and he's begging Odysseus. He's like, please don't send me back to that place. Somebody abducted everybody in the group, right? And not only that, she poisoned them. Yeah, she poisoned them. And Odysseus is like, I got to go see this. You know what I mean? Right? He's going to go. So he goes. And what happens? That's where we pick up the story. And I want to give me that first Greek. Here's what Homer says happened. He says, look, Odysseus is coming to the sacred grove where the Domata Kirkes is, where the house of Circe is. Right? This is late Bronze Age, before the Trojan War, right? The Trojans had Amazonian women fighting on their side. There was a contingent, kind of like mercenaries, right? Love it. And the depictions of these women. Oh my God, there's one point. This woman buries an axe in the head of a dude who's yelling about how men are superior. And all of his people are like, huh? Right? Oh, God, it's so powerful. I love it. So Odysseus is coming here and he says, look, what did he see? He sees this domata, this estate of Circe is built in cut stone, large stone blocks. And it's built on this piece of land, he says, that you can see everything around it. Everything. It's in a valley, right? And it's built where it can see everything up to the mountains that are surrounding, like strategically smart. Now, remember, this is the Bronze Age. Okay. How much organization do you think it takes to create one of these palaces of large cut stone? It takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. That's a lot of resources. That's a lot of transport. That's a lot of construction. Okay, so this person, Circe, this is a special type of person. Let me get the next one. Notice that she's in a sacred grove too. That's the last one. Give me the next one. She's in a sacred grove. So the area around where she lives is considered sacred land. Yeah, you can just by walking into it, you can get to yourself a pollution, right? That could end up getting you killed, right? You could violate something. You violate a tree. You violate the sacred leopard. Next thing you know, you got a party of horseback women with toxins, and they're killing you. That's the way it is. Now you know why the men are crying so much. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Give me the next one. These Greek men are scared. They're scared. So now what is around this woman's estate? What is around her estate? You're not going to believe this. He says there were wolves, like mountain wolves and lions. And remember, there used to be a lot more in the Mediterranean and Greece, lions and bears, that kind of thing. But not anymore, right? Okay, so around them, you've got these wolves around the palace and lions. And what are they doing? They're screwed in the head because she drugs them. She alters their mental state. Wait a minute, what? She's got a collection? She's got a collection of wolves and panthers and tigers, and they're hanging around. What do? They're on drugs. Do you see the technology from antiquity? This is Bronze Age cutting edge technology. Not only do we build these gorgeous palaces of cut stone, but we have drugs. And these drugs are coming from those arrows of those Scythian tribes. They're coming from their arrows. They're the ones who are developing that skill. That skill. Oh, God. Isn't it gorgeous? They're digging these women up. They're digging them up. I want to go now. Makes you want to go, doesn't it, Chewy? Give me the next one. Yep. That's the one we just did. Give me. Yep. There we go. And what else do they do? These lions and these wolves. They don't. I'm translating. They don't rush up on you, ready to attack. Right? Like is normal. Right? What do? They run up with their tails wagging. They wag their tails and fawn. They treat you like you're some kind of, something nice, not like a snack. And that isn't normal. That is scary. You know what that does to people? It scares them even worse. Right? You can't just jump in and say, oh, lion, look, he's nice. Right? Oh, now how is she doing this? She's doing it with mind-altering drugs. You mean you can alter the mind of a giant cat? You can alter the mind of a giant cat. You can alter the mind of a tiny cat if you want with drugs. I'm going to show you the specific drug they're using to do this. Didn't you ever think of it? Didn't you ever think of it? Look, you've got your big estate. These men, every once in a while, these sailors wash up. What do? You drug them and you turn them into sex slaves. And the ones you don't want, you kill. It's the way, bro. We all know that the male is inferior. We all know that. We all know God's a she. What in the world is buried in Azerbaijan? Oh, my God. Give me the next one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here, there's more tail. There's more tail wagging. Look at this. What are the wolves up top? What do the wolves say? Those wolves. They're krater onuches. Krater onuches. Krater onuches. Now, what does that mean? Krater is the root for strength. For strength. And they're onuches. Give me the next one. I want to show people what that means. Now, this is always mistranslated. Here's the word onux, right? Onuchos. Are you ready? It means talons or claws. So this thing is always translated as they have the sharp claws. They're very sharp clawed. Like Homer just had a brain fart. And he was like, oh, by the way, they have sharp claws. That has nothing to do with anything. But I thought I would throw it out there, right? Watch this. There's a specialized meaning of onux. Give me the next one. And what is it? What is it that these dogs are? In tiny, tiny writing. What is the onyx? It's the operculum of the conchulion, which is what? That's the little mollusk that gives you, look at the end of the sentence, the porphyra, that gives you the purple. Do you know what happens when you purple a wild wolf? He becomes your buddy. He becomes your buddy. You can drug animals and they will become defenseless. They won't strike back. What does she say the drugs do? She says, I'm giving you a drug to make you forget who you are, what your homeland is. Forget your family. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? I want a giant palace full of tigers. I do. I know why Bacchus is always riding the panthers. I know why he is. And people are like, they don't even question it. Do you know why? Because the gods have this power. I'm going to show you the line that says that. The gods, that's beautiful. Keep that up there. The gods have this power. They have the power to access the drugs that are able to do this. Imagine, right? Now, I know you can raise a leopard from the time that it's born, and it can be your friend, your great friend. But that leopard is not going to accept anybody who hasn't been its mother. Yeah, no. Unless you drug them, you give them the herbs that they need to enter human society. Think about the woman who figured that out. Think about her. She's buried in Azerbaijan somewhere. Think about her. Oh, God, I bet she's called Queen of the Drugs. I bet she is. Give me the next one. Oh, God, we haven't even gotten into all the drugs yet. Are you ready? What is it that you're watching? You're watching a peloron. And what is that? It's kind of a fabulous, miraculous thing. Because when you see a tiger come up, now most of us, tiger walks up and is licking. You've never seen this tiger before. You're going to soil your pants. You know what I mean? You may just fall over, just out of complete and total, adrenaline hits you. Boom, you may run off, right? But the miracle is always overwhelming. And these Bronze Age miracles are drug miracles. Circe Christ's Odysseus. The text says that. Yeah. Oh, God. Isn't it gorgeous? Yeah, for the person who sent me something from Berkeley, I need to see those texts. There's more magical texts, ones that I haven't seen that they've got at Berkeley that have to do with Christing in the eyes and boys and stuff like that. Now, I don't know. I haven't seen the text, and I don't normally talk about texts until I've seen them. So, please, I need access to this stuff. Fantastic. Now, what's going on? We're soiling ourselves because of the animals. Don't worry, they're totally on drugs. Give me the next one. They're totally on drugs. That's the pelor, right? What is that pelor? It's that prodigy, that thing that's out of the ordinary, right? Oh, God. And notice it refers to the Cyclops. Remember, this miraculous Cyclops with his Kuklops, his vision that is singular. Remember, he's the one who's making the arrows for Athena. If you thought Athena was not part of this whole Amazonian world, you're wrong. You're wrong, baby. She's going right to the right people. Let's just show them the lace this. The people are going to love this. Give me the next one. Who is this woman? I want you to look into the face of the Bronze Age Amazonian woman. And I want you to see what they said about her. They said, we don't know if she is a theos or a gune. We don't know if she is a god or a woman. We don't know. Why? At the level that she was at, you were required to be a god. Yeah, watch what happens. It's absolutely gorgeous. Do you have any good pics? Of her? Oh, let's see it. Maybe there's a little bit. Look, we'll get the little bit of the warrior thing going, but I want to see her on her horse too. You know what I mean? Let's hit yeah, we can do that too. I like that, don't you? Listen, people, these people were shaping the world. They were shaping the world. And we're just discovering them. And look at what happens. You woke up this morning and you thought, male and female, male is going to dominate, blah, blah, hoo-ha, military, ho-ho, big man running around. You ought to look at Ukraine and watch the sniper women in Ukraine. That's the homeland, by the way. The Sea of Azov, that's a huge region. The Amazonian women maraud through. Yeah, yeah. There are people there today. There are people who have the blood of these women. And when I just saw a sniper from there. She got hit. She stepped on something, lost a leg. And she was in rehab, waiting to go back. Yeah, she's got a prosthetic. She's ready to go back. That's Amazonian. Yeah. Vlad, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it, if they could remember the black arrow? Oh, God. You know what that is? That's another thing that they had in these tribes of women. The black arrow. You can shoot it from a distance that you can't even see across and take somebody out. The black arrow. Oh, God. What was the tech? Where did they get with the tech? Ooh, they got plugged in. They got lions that, eat out of your hand. Holy mackerel. And what happens to Circe? He goes in. Odysseus goes in. But before he does, he meets a dude who's going to give him some drugs. But what is she going to do when she's in the inside? I don't think we skipped any, but what is she going to do? She is going to make this Pramnian wine stuff, which is kind of raisin wine, and it's always in a mixture that they call the Cacao. So she's going to mix it into the food. No, you're right. And what are you going to do? You're going to forget where you came from. Okay, you're going to forget where you came from. Imagine a person, and I'm going to show you the drugs that do this. Imagine a person in a state where they're so disoriented and confused, they don't know their basic identity. Yeah. What do you do when you bring that out of a person? Here you go, Piggy. Come here, Piggy. It's time to clean up for sacrifice. Yeah, love it. Oh, love it. Give me the next one. And so what happens? Look, Hermes catches up. Hermes, the god, catches up, right? He's one of the gods too. That's why he has this knowledge that he's got. And he says, hey, don't go in there, Odysseus. Don't do it. Right? Why? What's going to happen? All of this bad stuff. And he goes through this list of things she's going to do to him. Anyway, he says, look, but I can get you out of this thing, right? This is a speech. This is a speech by the dude that was really afraid. This is out of order. We somehow got out of order. Anyway, Hermes tells him, look, I want you to free your comrades, and I want you to make sure that you're okay yourself. Give me the next one. I don't know why that was so out of order. There we go. So when he comes on this place, this is, just look at the second line. I'm sorry, people. I must have had something go on in my brain today, and I got all my slides out of order. What's happening now in the story? Well, I just want to tell you how Circe is referred to. Look at the second line and the third word in polupharmaku, right? She is polupharmakos. She is, what does that mean? Give me the next one. What is polupharmakos? It's somebody who knows many drugs or charms, right? And look at what comes after that in Greek. Iatroi, the doctors. Who else? Kirke. Who else? Pion, right? Apollo. And who else? Medea. Right? Now, look at number 2, though. This can mean somebody whose knowledge of drugs is great, but it can also mean somebody who's given to the use of drugs. Right? Someone who's given. So what is Circe? Not only is she knowledgeable, but she is an active user. Don't get me wrong. Right? She is an active user. Of course she is. Right? And what do you think is giving those Amazonian drug-using archeresses the real technological edge? It's that stuff they're on. They're bathing daily in the cannabis. That's just That's a bath, right? You just have to take a bath. Everything else is on top. And you have to wonder how much is enough to turn you into a god so that your eyes are opened. Yeah. Yeah. Remember what it's called? Taking her out of your side. Taking her out of your side. Does anybody want to take an Amazonian out of your side? Do you know the sound that Circe makes when she gets violent with Odysseus? Because she poisons him, and his mind doesn't go south. He stays conscious. She's like, huh? What? This never works. You must be that dude Hermes was telling me about. Right? Right? What's going on? What's going on? Give me the next one. Yeah, hopefully I didn't get these so much out of shape. Yeah. So we went backwards somehow. We're going backwards in time. I'm sorry, people. But Hermes comes up. He's the Chrysorapis, right? He's got his wand with the serpents coiled around it, right? Because this is all going back to that serpent medical cult power. And what happens? He's coming to the house, and he's gonna meet Odysseus there. And look, what is he? He's Neania. He's a young man. He looks like a young man with his first peach fuzz on his face. That's what it says. And he's got glorious youth. He's radiating youth, and he's got a little peach fuzz. That's Hermes. And he's got the drugs. Hopefully, did he bring the drugs? I want to show people the drugs. Look, people, Bronze Age drugs, right, that are being used. And he says, I'm going to save you from anything bad that this lady's going to do to you. I'm going to be your savior, he says. He says, look, I've got this incredible drug, and I want you to take it into the house of Circe, right? And its strength is going to ward off your day of death. Yeah. It's a colloquial way they had of saying it's your last day, brother. Right? And this drug is going to prevent that from happening. Now, how did he get this drug? How did Hermes get this drug? Some of you have seen this. Watch this, right? Oh, whoops. Look, something happened. What's happening now? It's okay. She's going to take the drugs. She's going to prepare them. And what is she going to prepare? She's going to prepare the what? The kukeo. The kukeo. This is actually the kukeon. The kukeon. And she's going to put that in your food. And she's going to put drugs in your food, and she's going to prepare the cocaine, because the cocaine is drinkable, right? Potable. And what is that? Well, cocaine is really just a mixture. And some of you have heard Eleusis, right? This is the big one. We're talking about the cocaine. This is it. And Circe, this Bronze Age, extremely influential, powerful, crazy, violent woman, she's the one who's using it. Remember the Eleusinian mysteries? She's using their formula. She's using it. And notice that it's a mixture. This isn't one simple drug. It is a mixture. Give me the next one. Watch this. Oh, she's amazed when she uses it on him that it doesn't confound his brain. It doesn't thelgo him. It doesn't mess up his brain, his perception, right? Why? Why doesn't this happen? And why is this all going on? Somebody's trying to poison that person has an antidote. Why is it all happening, right? Within the context of these lacei, these slave-making, sexually dominating lacei. The drug, he says, Hermes tells him, the drug, which I'm going to give you, right? This thing is going to be your salvation. You don't have to worry, because he's got the theriac, right, to the death inducer, the thing that really screws you up. Now, I told you I would tell you what drug this was that they're using in particular. And keep going. Keep going. Yep. So Argafontes, after he said these things, he pulled out the drug. What did he do? He actually ripped it out of the ground and he showed it. He showed it to Odysseus. Give me the next one. And what was that drug? Right? We want to find out. Well, specifically, he says the root turns to black. Right? There's a black color, or there's a black appearance to it that it grows as the root descends. And what is the flower? It's white. The flower looks white like milk, right? And the gods, who are the ones who get it, call it molu. The gods call it molu or molly. Now, don't think there's any association with modern molly. Don't get excited. There isn't. There isn't. What does he say? It's very hard for humans to acquire it, but the gods, they all know how to do these things, right? They know these things. Remember, Hermes is a god, and you say, wait a minute. These Bronze Age gods are people who are exceptionally knowledgeable in the drugs. I told you when we looked at Enoch. I told you when we looked at Enoch. The sons of God, right? Remember that God can be a woman. The sons of God perpetuated the knowledge of what the monist will say, sorcery. This is the same group who talks about changing your school so that you're going to learn the Bible, because the Bible is the foundation for Greek democracy. Look, excuse me, Julian. You were right, Julian. They will. They'll screw up your education. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? You're going to witness the downfall. We're going to all be reading the Bible again. Let's get as much of this as we can. Let's go. Let's go. What is the drug? You say, what is the drug? Here it is, molu. Molu. What is molu? What is molu? It's a fabulous herb. Listen to these jackasses. It's a fabulous herb. Right. One of the later writers, somebody said it was garlic. What? Right? Now, look down at 3 and 4, and you'll notice you start getting plants and authors like Dioscorides, right? Plenty. And if you look at number 4, it's struchnon, specifically, struchnon hypnoticon. That's hypnotic. See, hypnotic, that's sleep-inducing. Well, let's go to struchnon and see what that is, because that's what's, remember, we're giving this to our animals. We're giving this to people and dominating them and beating them up and abusing them sexually, right? I didn't say that I was going to pull any punches. That's what they're doing. Let's see the struchnon. What is it? It can be a winter cherry. It's several plants, the name of various plants. It can be a hound's berry. It can be a struchnos manikos. Wait a minute, I know what that means. Manikos is crazy. Manikos is crazy. Manic. So there's, what do they identify this as? Dioscorides 473 gives this to us. Datura stramonium. Datura stramonium. That's one of those belladonnas. Look at the next one. So that one makes you crazy. What is the one underneath that? Struchnon hypnoticon. Oh, sleepy nightshade. Let me guess. That one is used in surgery. Yep. And remember, you can fumigate somebody too, right? So there's a lot of ways to get remember, she's using food. She's using drink. And Hermes' warning to Odysseus is, if she gets you naked, she will cut off your manhood. She'll cut off your manhood. You can ride a horse a lot better that way. I'm not sure how much. I really enjoy riding horses, but I did it with them. Granted, could I sit face backwards at a gallop? No, not even close. Definitely. My fingers would be misshapen too, right? Give me the next one. Let's go to it. What else? Look, this, by the way, this phrase with the purpling is so common. They talk about being excited by being purpled, right? Your heart is purpled, right? It's agitated, right? Some kind of, you're in a zone where you're up. And that's good because these are tropane alkaloids that they're using in the datura, right? In the belladonna. You've got tropane alkaloids, hyoscyamine, atropine, scopolamine, right? That is what they're using to purple, to enter into that state. Now you can understand why a woman under the influence on horseback who trained and lived all her life that way and had to kill, by the way, they have to kill a certain number of men before they can breed, right? So you can imagine that this purpling brought out some traits of womanity that are just over the top, right? Right? That's what's buried in Azerbaijan. Oh, God, love it. Give me the next one. Let's hope they're not totally out of order. Let's see. What did I do here, people? This is okay. What are you going to be served if you go to Circe? No, it's not your fault, Chewy. It's definitely my fault. What are you going to be served? Okay, she prepared for me what? Kukeo. She prepared for me the kukeon, and it was in a gold goblet or a gold chalice. A gold chalice. You know, and why did she do that? So that you could drink the drug. And guess what? That last half of the second line says she didn't do it because she likes you, baby. She did it because she's thanking Kaka for you. Show us the chalice. Did you have a picture of that chalice? If you people will remember, Lady Babylon is the one who holds the golden chalice. And what do we know that golden chalice is full of? It's full of her porneia. You know, the first thing Circe tells to Odysseus when she realizes he's on an antidote, one that guy Hermes gave to him, first thing she says is, I want to have sex right now. Right now. And he's like, okay, but you got to promise you won't kill me. And she's like, okay, hurry up. Right now, why is that even in the episode? People look at that and they're like, wait a minute. First she tries to kill him, and then she's drugging him, and then she's beating him up, right? With her wand. She's got a wand. She's beating it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that was getting her going. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the whole Bacchic thing. She screams when he pulls out his sword, but she doesn't scream with the normal scream. She screams with a Bacchic shout. She's prepared. She's going to take him down. This is going to get bad right here, right? Imagine this on a dating show. Halfway through the dinner, you know, she pulls out a rod and starts smacking you with it. And you pull out a sword, and she's like, let's get it on. Right? It never made sense until you consider that we're Christing here. The text says she Christs him. Oh, God. Do you know what she has to produce in order to get that porneia for that golden cup? That's a sexual act. It's a sexual act. Remember, her body is the source of the communion. Right? It has to be produced. Love it. Let's get to the next one. This is getting in there. But she notices his mind is akeletos. It's not working. He's not seeing the things that he should be seeing. She's already got all of his men, and oh God, they've turned into pigs. Right? They don't know. They don't even know who they are. And you should hear the sounds they make. Right? Why do you need a man to talk? With an Amazonian woman, you don't. They have no voice in Amazonian government. And remember, the Amazonian women colonized Lesbos, right? They built the intellectual foundations of Lesbos. Wow. Does a man get a voice in that? Man gets no voice. Why would you give a man a voice? Look at those beautiful women warriors buried. They didn't need men. What do they need men for? They hunt men. Why would you let one of those things talk? Did you bring the drug Satyrian? Because this is a mating hunt. It's 2 months. What, at least one of the groups I was reading about. 2 months in the spring. So if you and I are average Joe dude out there, and we're on those steps, and we're just living our life trying to survive, we got to be very careful for 2 months. Depends on how you look, and I'm sure how good a shape. When you give a woman the ability to select a mate after she's already slaughtered 3 men, kind of, puts a different spin on the whole dating thing and the whole selection process. You know what I mean? Puts a whole different. And if you and I stay indoors for those 2 months, we may escape, right? I don't know. Maybe if you're really good looking, I don't know. Maybe that's where you like to go. Hercules did. That's where he went. Yeah, he liked to wear the dresses and stuff too. Yeah, he liked to wear them. Do we have that? Should we bring it up? Where is he? By the way, has anybody seen Jesus? There's some early texts that talk about milking his breasts. In the book of Revelation that he's wearing a bra, right? It's not a bro. He hasn't been drinking milk with steroids in it. It's a bra for his small but functional breasts. Yeah, they're a little swollen now with milk, I guess. Right? Usually they're smaller. The text talk about smaller. Pray. Thank you, Jesus. Don't let him go away so quick. We love you, Jesus. Here, how about as he's sitting there, let's get some ambiance. Come here, Jesus. Come here. Let me see those. Oh, does that hurt? Poor guy. Let's see what happens. Let's see what these pirates are doing. Give me the next one. This is lovely. Let's just keep going. We only have 3 or 4 more people. Yeah. Oh, here we go. So, Amphipoloi. There are some servants that Circe has, right? And there's 4 of them who specifically prepare all of the banquet that you as a dude are going to come to. And they sing, right? And the dudes wander in. Hi, right? Hi. And they eat the food and drink the wine that she's made. And next thing you know, the party's over and she stands up and everybody starts beating these dudes up. And they don't know what to do because they're delirious. And they turn into pigs. Yeah. And what are these servants called? They're called dreisteirai. What kind of woman has a job where she lures, drugs, and abuses men? Dreisteirai. Okay, give me the next one. What kind of people are these? Surprise, surprise, people. Dreister is a laborer. It can be a working dude. It can be a working woman. Look at number 2, a runaway, i.e., laystes. Laystes. This is the art. These are the young girl prostitutes that we encounter in Jesus's trial. These are them. These are the apostles who are working for Jesus. These are those drug knowledgeable teenage boys who ran away from their parents. Jesus came. Who's the last person to see James? It was Jesus. He walked up and they left together. Right? These are runaways, man. You follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. Everybody's been saying that for so long. I love to hear evangelical pastors who don't have never read the Bible and don't know that Jesus Christ was arrested in a public park with a naked kid at 4 a.m. screaming, "I'm not a trafficker." Right? I love to hear them say, "I'll make you fishers of men." Seriously? Okay. She's got 4 of these. And that's how the operation works. Why? Because the sailors, they're going to crash. They're going to be abandoned. They're going to get ashore. And you know what? The other side of what we do in Azov? We execute them. We execute them when they walk ashore. We execute them. Yeah. That's the world they're living in, that they're digging up in Azerbaijan right now. Not the fairy tale world. This is a real world where women, believe it or not, can be in total control. You remember the oracles that are guiding the Greek world? Yeah, they're women too. Is there a connection? Of course there is. Of course there is. It all comes down to the chemistry. Who's the father of Odysseus, by the way? He's Laertes. This is what he's called, Laertiades, the son of Laertes, right? Laertes, it comes from the root that Hesychius, what's his name? Oh, shoot, I'll think of it in a minute. He's a Christian bishop who's writing, and he says, I've been talking to the Greek historians, and they say this word is actually from Laius. It's the word for booty, for taking booty, right? So, there's a lot of pirating going on. Give me the last one, or second to last one. What else do you call Amazonian women? I wanted you guys to notice you call them anti-anera, right? You call them those who are the balance of the man, right? A lot of people would say this is the equalizer, right? They are the female that is the equivalent of the male. Right, so that's why they put here a match for men. So Athena, right? I told you, if you didn't think the Amazonians were connected with Athena, you're wrong. She's doing the same thing. And what's you can see it in the language. This is how you identify. Not only are Amazonians man killers, right? But they are the man. I don't want to say antidote. They are the man balancer. Yeah, right. Good, love it. Give me the last one. And finally, just so you can appreciate, the Toxotis is not an archer. It is an archeress. And it was used of Atalanta and of Artemis. Right? Look at the Orphic hymns there. That's how close the mysteries are to us. Why? Because our God is a she. And she shoots arrows, and those arrows are laden with that which brings new life. Okay? Love it. Let's not stay indoors this mating season. Who knows? All right, let me call up your drill instructor tonight for the Greek, and I want you to watch the ending here, but this is not the ending. I'm going to give you exactly what you need to know from the end of Unit 2 into Unit 3. And by the way, ton of people are tracking with us and doing this course with us. So thank you for that. That's the most beautiful thing ever. I'm so glad that nobody's making money off this. You don't buy my hats, do you? I don't got no hats sitting around, right? Let's do this. Give me the end exit.
Oh, since I met this blessed Savior, and since He cleansed and made me whole, I never cease to praise Him. I'll shout in my eternity roll. Oh, He touched me. Oh, He touched me. And what joy that floods my soul. So
Okay, let's get down to business, please. I want to show you what you've had and what you need to know. I want you to memorize these 4 verbs. These are the 6 principal parts of the 4 verbs that they have given you. And you're going to create an understanding of these verbs and apply that to all the other verbs you come across in the future. I want you to memorize luo. That one I want you to know inside and out, because you're going to use that as your example of all other verbs. I want to remind you, the first principal part produces the present, luo, I destroy. The second, and it also makes the imperfect. So I was destroying. The second principal part is just for the future, and it means I will destroy. The third principal part is the aorist, that has simple aspect. I did something. I did something. I destroyed. The fourth is the perfect. I have destroyed. And if you augment it with an epsilon, I had destroyed. It becomes pluperfect. Extra perfect. Perfect, I have destroyed. Pluperfect, I had destroyed. And finally, the fifth and the sixth, those are both passives, a perfect passive and an aorist passive. We're not going to worry about those now. It's those first 4 principal parts that you are learning, and that's going to jump us into Unit 3. We're going to have the next section, but before we get there, I want to do an exercise with you. I want to do an exercise just so you can know and be comfortable with some of the exercises at the end of each chapter. Okay, at the end of Unit 2, we've got this one. And the people who are doing the Saturday lab, they're going through these examples with people, right? Sharpening their skills. Here we go. I'll go. Hoi theoi ton homeron ke leususitois men philois chruson pimpen. Tois de xenois tois in de horai Stephanus. This is a men and de construction. You've got the men up front. This is not something English does, right? You could spell this out like you're walking through your bog. You could do this on the one hand, blah, blah, blah. On the other hand, blah, blah, blah. That's not how the Greek is working, right? Look at where the men is. It's at tois philois. Look at where the de is. It's at tois xenois. And you'll notice those are both dative cases, right? On the one hand, you got the friends. On the other hand, you got the strangers. So what the Greek does is it sets up a contrast, and they're always doing this. They're overusing contrast and comparison. But maybe that's why they're so smart. They're constantly comparing and contrasting things. And that's what you do with the men and the de. On the one hand, the gods. What is keleususi? What tense is that? Somebody quick, think in your head. Yes, it's a future. And how did I know that? Because I know my principal parts of those verbs that I just flashed up there. And I know the first principal part is keleuo. And I know the second principal part is keleuso. And I know that an usi is a future, third person, plural, ending. They order in the future. So the gods will order. Homer. What? Now we need an infinitive. We need a complementary infinitive to tell us what we're going to do, what the verb is going to do. They're going to order him to what? To pimpain. There's your infinitive. To send. Chruson. Accusative case. Gold. On the one hand, to his friends. On the other hand, they will order him to send crowns to the strangers who dwell in the countryside, right? Love it, love it. So in this little sentence here, you have this extreme contrast between the friends and the strangers. How do you treat the friends? You treat them this way. How do you treat the strangers? You treat them that way. And that way the Greek, without just saying the data like English would, right? English would be the gods first order Homer to do this to the friends. The gods then order Homer to do this to the enemy. What you've done is you've set up a contrast right off the bat with the men and the de. And you say, wait a minute, the men doesn't come until halfway through the top, the first part of the sentence. And the dead doesn't come until the second. That's because the Greek sentence is not formed linear. Right? There's no linear formation. It's words. You can throw them up into the air, and as long as you see bing, bing, there's a contrast there. Oh, okay. Between what? And then your mind starts to form the image. That's how the Greek is forcing you to think. Remember, some languages are not up to this, and ours isn't one of them. At least mine isn't. We've got some people from Thailand too. I want to say shout out to the people in Thailand. Give me the next one. What does this one say? Oh God! I just want you to look at the second word, ekelewes. Now that's the same verb there, right? Kilewo. But you notice it's from the first principal part. If you knock the ending off s and you take the augment off on the front of it, you get kileo. And that is the root of the first principal part, kileo. So you know this thing is from the first principal part, and it's got an augment on it, so therefore I know it is imperfect. And what is the imperfect? It's that past action, right? I was doing something. You're looking. How are they using the imperfect? You're looking at the person actually performing the action. That's where your state of mind is. You're sitting there with them, watching it happen. That's the imperfect. It's in the past. And what do you say? You ordered Homer to send, pimp psi. There's your aorist infinitive. Now, why'd they use an aorist infinitive there, pimp psi, instead of a present infinitive? Those are the two we've learned, right? Why did they do that? Because of the aspect. He's only going to be doing the sending once. Wait, what? Yes, I can order you to send something to me every day. Right? I could order you to do that, or I can order you to send me something once. They are distinguishing that. Whereas we need a phrase to express that. They do it naturally in their verb. It's in part of the nature of the verb. The contrast is there, right? The perspective is there. Greek verbs give you perspectives. Fantastic. 4. Why did he order him to do this? 4. What? Epidewes. Now, what is that? That's that second person singular. Imperfect. On es omen ete on. Right? 4. You were teaching those men on the island. Yeah. Right? Nice. Gorgeous. Okay. Give me the next one. What are we going to get into in Unit 3? We're just going to do the same thing, but we're going to go to the fourth principal part with the verb. Now we're going to deal with perfects and pluperfects. This is what you need to memorize for your perfect tense. What is your perfect tense? I have ordered. Present, I order. Imperfect, I was ordering. Future, I will order. Aorist, I ordered. Perfect, I have ordered. And these are the endings that you put on the fourth principal part. A, as, Ammon, ate, asi. And you say, wait a minute, that sounds just like the aorist. It does, except for the third person plural. It's exactly the same, right? The third person plural is a little different. It's asi instead of on, but that's okay. You don't have to learn much new. And of course, in the third singular and plural, third person singular and plural, you can have the new movable. Fantastic. Give me the next one. That's the perfect. I have done something. And I just want you to see then, using the verb paidewo, right? Its fourth principal part is pepaidelka. Pepaidelka, I have educated. And all you do is you add those endings. Pepaidelkas, you have educated. Pepaidelke, he, she, or it is educated. Pepaidelkamen. Look how the accent shifts there, right? Nice. We have educated. Pepaidelkate, you have educated. And pepaidelkasi, they have educated. No problem. Now I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to make it extra perfect or pluperfect. Not I have educated, but I had educated. So it's already past in the past. Yes, fantastic, fantastic. It's really the secondary tense of the perfect, which is a primary tense. When you say I have done something, you're talking about right now in the present. I am in a state of having done something. You didn't realize that, did you? That the perfect is actually a present tense. It is primary. So how do you make that past? How do you shift that in the past? You turn it into a pluperfect. You take an epsilon augment and tap it on the front of that fourth principal part, and then you add a different set of endings. And what are the endings that indicate the pluperfect? A, ace, A, right? A, ace, A, Ammon, ete, esson. I'm sorry for the fogginess. Check your book, right? Ammon, ete, esson. That was my own doing. Okay, that is your pluperfect. And finally, I just want you to look. I want you to look at the vocabulary that we're going to get in Unit 3. I want you to look at some of these beautiful words like athlon. We get athlete from that, right? It means a prize. It's like saying medaler, somebody who gets a medal, right? Love it. Arete. What is arete? Oh, God. Virtue, baby. Virtue. Love it. Love it. Boule. Oh, right. That's what you got going on up here, man. You got a council, right? And that's your boule. Look at the verb grapho. Grapho, grapso, egrapsa, gegrafa, gegramai, egraphen. To write. As you progress, note the principal parts. In the end of your textbook, there will be an appendix, and somewhere in that appendix is a chart of all the verbs in this book in their 6 principal parts. Some of them don't have all 6, but in their 6 principal parts. Good, fantastic. And finally, I want you to see the vocabulary that we're getting that's really good. Look at demos, right? That's the people. And underneath demos, what is that? Demokratia. Demokratia. You remember I told you that kratos is the strength, right? The strength of something becomes an idea of rulership, right? What is the demokratia? It's the rulership of the deme, of the people, or of the neighborhood, the hood's rulership. Love it. Okay. Get me off of, I've got one more little thing here. I guess the boss wanted to put this in there. Look at this, people. Datura, intoxication. Remember, this is what happens to the people who are under the influence of Circe's drugs. Are you ready? Typically produces delirium, hallucination. Oh, that sounds interesting. Hyperthermia. Hyperthermia. You're taking off your clothes like a piggy pig. You're going to sweat, right? Tachycardia. Well, it's a tropane alkaloid. What's another tropane alkaloid? Cocaine. Cocaine's a tropane alkaloid. Yeah, tachycardia. Now look at what they put after that. Bizarre behavior. Is that how you describe piggies? Yeah. Severe mydriasis, painful photophobia. Why do you think? After a while, they like being in those stalls. You know what I mean? Pronounced amnesia. She told us it would do that. She told us you're gonna forget where you're from. Right? That's her way of saying, I'm gonna make you take this amnestic and I'm gonna abuse you. Now it's not funny. It's not funny. Shame on us for laughing. I'm sorry on the inside. But I don't know. You could make a great movie out of this, you know what I mean? Pronounced amnesia. Not just regular amnesia, right? Pronounced. Oh God, what happened to you when you were on the island? I don't remember. I just want to go home. The onset of symptoms generally occurs around 30 to 60 minutes after ingesting the herb, which is perfect because she sits there and waits for the drugs to start working before she gets up and starts having fun. Yeah, love that. The 30 to 60 minutes, the symptoms generally last from 24 to 48 hours. So off of one communion party, you can get 48 hours of piggy pigs. These symptoms, have been reported in some cases to last as long as 2 weeks. Oh, God. So remember all of those leopards? Remember the wolves and the lions? Remember those Bacchic riding of the leopards, right? We can get a lot out of just a little. It's very efficient, man. 48 hours? Think about that. 48-hour long pigdom. What can you do? This is really my question tonight. What can you do with somebody under the influence? You and I that doesn't even register unless you're some kind of trafficker yourself, right? In which case, you're like, hey, bro, we do that, right? I'm not your bra. You're a lay-stace, just like Jesus Christ. Free Greek lessons from a charismatic PhD on awesome topics live on YouTube for anyone. What a time to be alive. Indeed. Now, I told you people, and here's a spanking for everybody. I told you we would fulfill this. I told you we would dig up the Amazonian women. I told you the oestrus would come right out of it. Somewhere when I mentioned oestrus, somewhere ducktail Dan's sphincter tightened and burned. What you're seeing is the actuality, the reality. You used to think Amazonian women were a fairy tale, something for Marvel. No, bro. The reality is always much more interesting than the BS fairy tale. It's always much more interesting. For those of you who are writing to me and telling me about purging your greed and how you've been convicted, how the devil has whispered in your ear, you want to be like that tyrant, and you're trying to walk away. You're trying to purge. That's exactly what we need to be doing, right? I smell roast pig. Thank you for coming tonight. The core is on our way. Hail Satan.
Oh, since I met this blessed Savior, and since He cleansed and made me whole.